When I was in the joint, he was doing $1 million worth of game on Instagram.
Okay.
2012. Let me give y'all $1 million worth of game. Boom. He was popping it.
Right.
So when I get home, see, one thing about this is like this. The great thing about me and Cuz, we know our rules. I'm more of the researcher. I'm more of that person. I'm gonna get with you, Cuz, when these people start talking and we gotta get legal involved, we gotta go sit down, then I'm gonna call you. But I'm gonna go do that.
Okay.
You sit down, you do what you gonna do. You did enough. You build a whole following before I came home. I'm gonna add value to it. Because I'm one of these type of players.
Right.
I'm a player like this. If your name is on the marquee, Shannon, and I'm really about you, I'm going to get you water. I'm making sure you right. Damn, what you need, man? You see how your brother came over here? I don't know who that brother was.
Yeah.
Made sure you was right. It was no ego involved.
Man, I ain't finna be no dude, boy. I ain't doing all that, Wallo.
No, I'm just saying, see, that's your problem. That's why you gotta go back down the way. Come on, you ain't going on the road, baby. Go home. See, that's why you gotta go home.
Okay.
But that's the problem. I knew we had different parts to play. That's why we worked so good. You know what I'm saying? So one day, he already doing it on Instagram. We doing our thing. We already had content on Instagram, just the everyday content, riding the car, all that type of stuff. I'm up 4 o'clock in the morning. I like to read articles. I think it was on Apple. I love reading articles to get information. So it said, Spotify allocate $400 million to podcasters in the first quarter of 2019. I called him early in the morning. I said, yo, he all, man, what the yo, get up. Read that article. I just text you that article. Read that shit. Read it, please, cuz. He read it. So when he read it, he called me back. He said, yo, we got to get this shit rolling. We got to crack out the mics, talking about podcasting.
Yeah.
At that time, Maurice Claret, that's my homeboy, brother from another, he used to always call me like, Wallo, you and Gil got to start a podcast. He'd call me and Gil, y'all got to start a podcast, whatever. This the first time that this dude woke up. And I'm like, he called me back, and I'm like, I'm gonna talk to him later. He called me back. He was like, cuz, we gotta do it. Crack the mic. They gave out all that money. That day I called my homeboy, Nick Rich, graphic designer. I said, I need a logo. That afternoon, he had the logo. I called my attorney, Shay Lawson. I said, Shay, I need this trademarked. We get the LLC out, got everything done. Got the LLC done, all that shit. Boom. April 17th, we dropped the first episode of $1 million worth of game. It went #2 in comedy on podcasts on Apple and #4 in all categories in like 7 hours. I said, we got something, baby. We got something. And we just started knocking. I said, cuz, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a deck created, and I'm gonna take all our social media, and this is the business of podcasts. I'm gonna take our social media following, because he had $1 million, I had $500,000. I said, I'm gonna take our social media following, I'm gonna put that on the deck, and I'm gonna tell sponsors, people that wanna be sponsors, I'm gonna tell them this. If you sponsor on this show, every time we put a clip up on our page, because $1 million worth of game, that's just gonna be a $1 million worth of game page on Gillie and Wallo page, we're gonna tag sponsored by Shannon Sharpe Show, whatever, whoever you is. He said, all right, do your thing, cuz. I said, all right, I got you. One of the first places I went was to a funeral home. I go to a funeral home because I went to this funeral, right? Boyd's funeral home, all right? And Asia was like, she was at the funeral home, licensed, nice looking sister. But my homie, that nigga looked like he was still living in the casket. I said, you bad. So I go there, I said, listen, I got a package for you. My sister from another mother, Mary, she hooked up the decks for me in the different entries of sponsorship, right? So I go to her, I said, listen. She said, yeah, I want to do something like this. I want you to market this joint. And this is when I'm just learning and creating my personal business of podcasting. So I said, all right, I got you. She paid me, I think she probably gave me like $20,000 for 4 minutes, right? A minute, this is how I was selling it. I was selling minutes by, you get on each show, you get a minute worth of advertisement. Your logo gonna pop up, your number gonna pop up, everything gonna pop up, and I'm gonna run it down. So she said, all right, cool. Paid me the money. I said, all right, let me go. I went and done the ad. By the time I got to the second ad read, because we only do 4 shows a month, 1 a week. By the time I got to the second ad read, she called me, Wallo, stop. I said, what's up? She said, I ain't got enough work. I'm getting too many bodies, baby. I'm getting too many bodies. The episode, come on. This episode of $1 million worth of game is brought to you by Boyd's Funeral Home. One thing about life, you're gonna die one day. And when you die, you wanna be laying in the casket looking like you living even though you're dead. You wanna be looking like you're gonna get up out of the casket. You wanna be looking like, wow, I wanna that. Even by the living while you laying in the couch. I'm breaking it down. She was like, it was that. Next thing, Springfield Hyundai. I go to them, bang. They say, listen, we gonna give y'all $25,000 a month. 4 minutes. Back, let's do it, baby. I'm coming back. Gil like, I said, yeah, baby. I wasn't going off of CPMs and all that other stuff they were doing. I'm creating my own industry. In business, you gotta know your value. When you bring value to value, it increase your value. I knew that we was valuable. I knew they wanted brand visibility because we was cultural.
Right.
But I'm also a good partner, whereas though I wanted to be mutually beneficial. We doing business, I need to make sure you're getting taken care of. Forget what you giving me.
Right.
I'm not gonna feel right if I know, damn, Shannon gave us all this money, man, and we didn't do what we needed to do. That's not business.
Right.
So we popping it. It just kept popping. One day I get the most scariest call in my life. I'm in the crib. Phone rings. Answer number. Just before when I was answering numbers and I didn't know what it. I mean, I ain't had no money there.
Right.
So I said, how you doing? This is Wallo, right? I said, yeah, this is Wallo. Is Gillie around? I said, yeah. He said, this is about the podcast. I said, all right. Call Gil. Yo, man, got somebody on the phone. He said, hi, Gil, how you doing? He said, yo, what's up, man? Gil, like, who this, man? You know, Gil B. He said, hi, I'm Courtney Holt. So me, I'm a vicious researcher. I'm like this one on the phone. I send it to Gil, screenshot. I said, oh shit, this dude that ran it, he's the head of Spotify at the time. I'm like, I'm saying to myself, how you get my number? In culture, you don't gotta ask nobody to do nothing for you. When you popping and you hot, the people that need to find you gonna find you. It ain't about nobody reposting you. They gonna find you. I don't know how you got my number. So now I'm on the phone and I'm like, he said, what do you guys want? I said, what you talking about? I said, no. What do you want? He said, no. How much money do you guys want? Now I'm stuck because I don't even know what to tell him. Mm-hmm. I'm stuck. But it's like, I said, we want ownership. We want all our IP. We want to keep owning our IP.
Yes.
He said, we want your IP. So how much money do you want? I'm on the joint Texas Gil. This shit getting spooky, Gil. Because I think this like some movie, some shit that, you know when they tell you go into the other room, I'm like, oh, this shit's crazy. I'm like, oh shit, right? So I'm like, all right, okay, can I have my lawyer? He said, I'm going to text you the email. Let's get on the email chain and our legal will get involved. When they start talking about legal, you know, this shit is real.
Right.
It's game time.
Yes.
I'm like, bet. Gil was like, who was that? I said, I don't know, man. Then I sent him all this shit. I'm like, that shit was scary. I was sweating on the call because I mean, you know, I ain't never had, because I'm still trying to come up. That's when we got in the game. We had them. Did we negotiate with them? We negotiated with Barstool. It turned us up. But at the same time, I'm already getting the money from our own sponsorship. I'm already doing that. I'm getting a bunch of money. We doing it. We killing it. I'm doing all the brand deals, all that stuff. We was killing it.
Normally people say don't do anything with family, but you and Gillie seem to work. How did you know that it was going to work? And you guys go 50-50 on everything.
Yeah.
How did you know? Because family, man, sometimes, Wallo, man, you know family do you bad.
One thing about Cuz and me and Cuz ain't got no ego. I could check him and it's done right there. He could check me and it's done right there. Because if we wrong, we wrong. If we right, we right. We don't, and then we not in competition with each other. Like, you gotta understand this. You gotta understand this. I'm so excited for him right now in this moment simply because the Eagles is winning. And this dude, when I say he loved the Eagles.
Oh, yeah, man.
Listen, when I say he loved the Eagles, he told me, he said, cuz, we was on Bustin' with the Boys Club. He said, I wouldn't have sex with my wife for a year if the Eagles could win the Super Bowl.
They got to win by 10 Super Bowls.
but that's what he said. So I'll be so happy that, listen, Eagles is my team now. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't really, I bounce around. People know I got different teams every year. I'm just saying, I'm just being real. This is the first time in the history of my life that I've been faithful to a team for a whole season. I've never done this shit in my life. I usually bounce around, especially in the playoffs. Right. Oh, they got dropped out. Get New Jersey. I pull my jersey out.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't even know where my jersey's at, but I'm gonna just say that. Like, We so excited for each other. We always championing each other when we win. That's different. Bro, you don't see that. Everybody want to compete with each other when we supposed to eat with each other. We just not doing that shit. We ain't built like that. We just not built like that.
What made you guys sign with Barstool? Because talk to Portnoy, and he's like, hey, yeah, we signed him, but we didn't really know because, I mean, culturally and fan base wise, I mean, that's not where we are, and their culture and their fan base is kind of not where we are, but it's a match that works.
You know why? Because we was going back and forth with Spotify. They was cool. Spotify wanted to box us in. Because Spotify, they take you off of YouTube and say, you over here now. The visuals, you can't put the whole show. It was like that. I'm like, no, what about our people? Everybody ain't got no money for no subscription for that.
Right.
Barstool was like, not only was going to give you the paper, not only do we don't want to own your IP, but we gonna make sure y'all still stay over there so y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. Dave and when we signed Dave and Erica Nardini was so real. When they met up with us, it was like they didn't play. They asked us for a number. I said it, but I should have said the number too early.
Yeah. It was a low number. You should have went a little high. Because when I'm just thinking about, because I was broke at the time. I wasn't broke, but I was JBM just barely making it. Yeah.
So I'm like, damn. So I told them, I said this the first deal. I say, listen, we in Devon's, south of Philadelphia. They come down and get on the train, come see me and Gil. We go there. Gil said, you got it. Go ahead, cuz. I'm at the table. He said, we just 36-month, distribution deal, the whole thing. I said, how much? I'm thinking I'm popping my shit. I said, $3 million. Cool. She said, all right. I said,
man, you done screwed up. You know you screwed up the minute you said 3D said deal.
I didn't even get the $3 million out because I'm like, damn. Now I'm sitting there, I'm like, Gil kicked me like. But he said, I told you to say something. I said, damn, nigga, what you want me to say? You know what I mean? We shook our hands, signed it. You know what I mean? Lori got the information, all that shit.
Right.
But it was like now, I ain't gonna hold you. What we did in 2.5 years into that contract, man, the first offer that came through and then renegotiating, because now we ready to start a bid war because we ready. We
gotta leave.
Our joint coming up. The first joint that came through, $25 million, 36 months, licensing deal. That was the first deal. Dave told me, he said on the pot, I got a blank check for y'all. He meant that shit. Cause Dave is a little different.
He definitely different. Having talked to him, he different.
And one thing I say about Dave Dave don't respect money.
Respect loyalty.
He don't care about money.
Don't.
Like it's different when you got somebody that better you. Yeah, I could have went to Amazon. Yeah, we could have went to Spotify. Yeah, we could have went to everybody else who the numbers was there. I'm talking about in the same day, they just coming through the different deals, right? But I said, these people better than this, what's the name? We went in the room for 5 minutes, shook hands, walked out, we stayed with Barstool. Bunch of money. And I'm like,
yeah, because I see you pulling up with a Porsche damn near every week.
I might go get one after this show, just because. I got, you know what I mean? Just because. But this is the thing about it is we put the work in, man.
Right.
Every day we getting up putting the work in, Shannon. You put the work in, you gonna get what you need. You know what I mean? You could have been out here doing some money. You work. It was about putting the work in. So it was like, damn. And it just, the business game. One thing I'm gonna say about Barstool, when we went to Barstool, I stayed in a hotel for about a week in New York, and I went to the Barstool office every day. And that 1 week of me staying in Barstool, I'm going to the office, talking to different people in the office, that 1 week, I learned the whole podcast game, the whole business side of it. I'm talking about Dave and Erica Nardini, that's why I mess with them. They took us to their plug. They took us to their investors. As we got into, they said, listen, these guys are getting too big, man. We want you to introduce you to, we go and have a meeting with the people that gave them money. They was like, where they do that at?
Wow.
Where they do that at? You know what I mean? This our last year in Barstool. New deal coming. This our last year.
Wow. Turning down deals. Obviously, you know, sometimes you have to walk away.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing because that money, you like, damn, that's a lot of money. But at the end of the day, does it have to feel right? Does it have to represent you and Gillie in order for you to like, okay, this is what $1 million worth of game, we'll rock with it.
You know what it is? We need partners that understand what we're doing and understand that we're trying to grow and got the infrastructure and everything to support that. That's the first thing that we're looking for. You're going to have differences no matter where you go. Any big company in America or in the world, there's going to be things there that people going to do shit, say things that you might not like, but it don't matter where you go at. Right. But our thing is we need the infrastructure for growth. We need to make sure that these people believe and they see the vision of what we're going to do.
Right.
And they're going to get out of our way. Dave never been in our way.
So moving forward, you and Gil want to keep creative control of what $1 million.
But we own our own stuff. We own $1 million worth of game. We got our own facilities. We got all our own equipment. Everything is all like we not the people that say, oh, this is the problem with people. People want other people to say, I want to use this facility. I want to use your equipment. I want to use your people. I want to do all that. And I want all this. We don't do that. We got our own equipment. We got our own cameras. We got our own team. We got all our own shit.
Yeah.
We just create it, distribute that, distribute that, distribute that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Wow. You mentioned that how Dave introduced you to the people that gave him money in order to do what he wanted to do, and they introduced them to you. And Dave had, like I said, I talked to Dave and he's like, hey, people get big and they leave. Hey, bless them.
Dave ain't no hater.
He's not.
Listen, everybody that been on Barstool has been an incubator for them. They went to the next level and they got a shitload of money. Call her daddy, example.
Yep.
Pat McAfee, example.
Pat P. Mac, yep.
Like Bustin' with the Boys, Caleb, example. Dave is the type of dude you go to Dave and be like, listen, man. He'd be like, all right, cool. And then the thing about Dave that I respect, it was some people that didn't even own their IP there. He gave them their IP and said, go ahead, do your thing. Where they do that at?
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because you know we like to do something before two something.